Okay, class, picking up where we left off at. Now we're about to substitute. Now we already have our future value, which is $4,332. And that equals to our P is 4,000. And we will have 1 plus. We don't know what our rate is, but we know our time is 1 year. Then it'd be to the first power. So we have $4,332 is equal to 4,000 times 1 plus R. We know that's to the first power, so that doesn't change anything. So now we can divide these out by 4,000. So remember, we're trying to get R by itself. So now we will have 4,332 over 4,000 is equal to 1 plus R. Now we will subtract 1 on both sides. And now we will have 4,332 over 4,000 minus. Now we could change this 1 to a fraction, make it 4,000 over 4,000. So we can easily subtract that fraction. And that equals R. Now 4,332 minus 4,000 will give us 332 over 4,000. And that equals R. Now you could put this in your calculator and it will give you approximately 8.3% would be your interest rate. Now, we scroll down here to A. It says, how much will you have if you invest $100 at 6% interest, or 6% compounded quarterly for 1 year? So, this is what we would do. We would have the formula A is equal to P times 1 plus R over N to the NT power. So we have A is equal to, P would be 100. We have 1 plus, our rate is 0.06. And then our time is quarterly, so that would be 4. And then N is 4 times T, and T is 1. Okay, so now that we have this here, we will have A is equal to 100, and in this parenthesis, it will end up being 1.015, and we know 4 times 1 is 4. So A is equal to, it will be $106.14. Now we move here. It says, what is the effective rate of interest? Now we have here interest earned in 1 year. We started off with 100. We ended up with $106.14. So we could take the $116.14 minus the initial $100 we had, divided by the principal, which is $100. So this will give us $6.14 divided by 100. And our interest rate would be 6.14%. And that would be our final answer. Now, we move on to the next example. How much will you have if you invest $500 at 3% compounded monthly for 1 year? So, we will have A is equal to P times 1 plus R over N to the NT. So now we will have A is equal to 500 times 1 plus, now our R is 3%, which is 0.03, divided by, it's compounded monthly, so it'll be 12. So then we will have 12 for N times 1, because it's for 1 year. So now we will have A is equal to 500. Now in parentheses, this will end up being 1.0025 when you put in your calculator to the 12th power. So our final answer will end up being, in this approximation, it would end up being $515.21. Now we come here to B. It says, what is the effective rate of interest? Now, interest earned in 1 year. Now, we know we start off with $500 and we ended up with $515.21. And we subtract 500 from that. And our principal was 500. So we would end up with 15.21 divided by 500. So after we divide this out, this would be an approximation. We will get 3.04%. Okay, now it says calculating effective annual yield. The formula for calculating the effective rate or the effective annual yield is, suppose that an investment has a nominal interest rate R in decimal form and pays compound interest N times per year. The investment's effective annual yield Y in decimal form is given by this formula here. The decimal form of Y given by the formula should then be converted to a percent. So now example. It says here, what is the effective annual yield on money invested at 4.5% compounded monthly for 1 year? So now we will use this effective annual yield formula. So we have Y equals 1 plus R over N to the N minus 1. So we have Y is equal to 1 plus, now the R, which is a rate, it'll be 0.045. And the time we know is compounded monthly, so it'll be 12. Now our N is 12 as well, minus 1. So we have Y is equal to, this will give us 1 plus 0.00375 to the 12th power minus 1. So we have Y is equal to 1.00375. We would take that to the 12th power minus 1. Now when you put this in your calculator, this would end up giving you the approximation of 4.6%. And that is the final answer. And I also want you all to notice with all of these answers, what we did, the effective annual yield rate and everything like that is always slightly higher than what the rate that is previously given. So whenever you go to a bank, they give you the annual percentage rate and the annual percentage yield. Typically the yield is slightly higher, which we see here in the problems we've just done. Thank you.